It's on now, but I don't know if they're recording or not, but we'll go ahead and get started. So I want to go ahead and call the meeting to order for the Manteno Village Board for Monday, November 7th, 2022. If we could please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Boyce?
Here.
Martin?
Here.
Dole? Here. Crockett? Geske? Phillips?
Here.
We have a quorum. Tonight, as always, we begin with the approval of the minutes. We have our regular board meeting minutes from October 17th, 2022 that are in the packet, and hopefully everyone has had the opportunity to review them. Are there any changes, additions, corrections, deletions? Seeing none, I would accept the motion to waive the reading of the minutes and approve them as presented by the clerk.
I make the motion.
Motion by Phillips.
Second.
Second by Boyce. Roll call.
Phillips?
Yes.
Boyce? Martin?
Yes.
Dole?
Yes.
Motion carries. Public participation, have we received anything, or you have anyone?
We have not this evening.
Anybody signed up? No? Okay. Village President's report, I want to go ahead and turn over to the chief so he can make a presentation.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, I'd like to take a few minutes to congratulate Sergeant Burns on 25 years of service. It was funny, I was just in his office yesterday and I noticed he has this exact same thing hanging on his wall that I gave him 5 years ago tonight. 20 years of service. And I thought, it's kind of odd. It's not odd, but more and more these days, police are kind of hanging it up at 20 years. We see that a lot more than we used to see it, for a lot of reasons, with everything that's going on in the world. But Mike's kind of beat that curve. Because I think he still has, and I know he still has a passion for this line of work. And you see it a little less and less these days, but he has a passion for serving the people of his community and his fellow officers. Mike is our countywide leader in a couple areas. It's mental health and peer support. Everybody in the county knows him, everybody in the county calls him for these things, and we're really lucky to have him. I know we're going to lose him one of these days. It's no secret he's going to be a police chief one of these days. But I'm going to take full advantage of him every day because he improves our department while he's here. So Mike, you want to come on up? Michael Burns, a grateful recognition of the completion of 25 years of loyal and conscientious service as a member of the Manteno Police Department. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll keep this short and sweet. I'll leave the retirement speech will be long and lengthy. Thank you very much for the appreciation. I truly appreciate it, and I love working here. So thank you.
Well, thank you. I mean, you've been here on the department and you're involved with the Manteno, longer than any of the rest of us. You've seen a lot of.
You were on the.
I was on the police commission, right? Changed roles.
Yeah.
But like I say, you've seen a lot of the different things that have come and go, not only with the PD but with the whole community. And the PD changing over the course of time. Seems like it's more rapidly changing in the last few years, but that's because we had a spurt of people that we hired 25, 30 years ago, and those guys are all luckily a lot of people have stuck around here and stayed. And now they're able to take their retirements. I'm glad that up to this point you haven't done that. That you continue to stay and help mold a lot of these new officers that we have. There was several of them that were here just a few minutes ago, but they got a call and 4 of them had to leave. But they're leaving to go out in the street knowing that that they've had training from the people and the veterans that have been here for the years and the last several years and the last couple decades has trained them properly and trained them good to go out and be able to do the job. So we appreciate your service. Thank you for sticking around as long as that you have, and hopefully you've got a few more years that you will stick around Manteno. But like I say, we certainly appreciate what you've done and the ability to stay and train and take care and mold the police department that's coming on now.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The other item on my agenda is just a little discussion or a little comments about the property tax rebate program. You know, we offered that program over the course of the last several months where people were able to come in and file the paperwork for their, if they were a village recipient or village resident that had lived in Manteno. The rebate program ended on October 31st, at the end of the close of business. At that time, we have received a total of 1,528 applications that have been approved. So 1,528 households in Manteno with single-family residences will be getting the rebate back. The total rebate value is about $935,000 that will be going back to the citizens of Manteno. We had a number of people who filed that did not qualify for a variety of reasons. We had 47 denials that have been sent out. The denials were sent out for a variety of reasons. Like I said, some of them, actually they didn't live in the village. They weren't in the corporate limits. They might have been in, actually residents of another community, but didn't understand what the program was strictly for Manteno residents. They might not have held the title of their residence for a full year because our rules said that you had to be the owner of the property for the entire year of 2021. That way you were the one who paid, or was responsible for the tax bill for the entire year. We had a few people that, that had passed away from the time that they had filed until now, and that there was no one else that was named who was on the title. And like I say, a couple, unique reasons, but there is 1,528 checks that will be mailed out the first week of December. If you take the amount of total rebate dollars divided by how many applications that are going to be going out, it's an average of about $612 per rebate. Obviously, that's an average. There's a lot of checks will be more, a lot of them will be less, depending on what the individual tax bill actually was. So we're glad to see that so many people took advantage of it, and that you'll be able to get the check in the mail. Checks will be coming in a Village of Manteno envelope, so when you get it, it's not junk mail. There'll be a check in there. Don't throw it away. Cash it, because I'm sure that sometimes people stow something aside and they don't cash it. We need to get those cashed in a timely period. We're also going to include a newsletter in there with other information about the village, and also the Hometown Hero Banner Renewal Program application is going to be in the envelope for anyone that wants to renew that program for next year. Next year, we've got a lot more street lights that have been put up this year, and that new ones on Main Street. We're going to have new ones on South Creek Drive. So we've got a new number of banners that could potentially fly for next year. So if anybody's interested in participating in that, that will be included in the envelope, and also a sticker for our recycle dates for next year will be in the envelope. So there's going to be, besides the check, there'll be other information pertaining to the village that'll be in the envelope. So be looking for an envelope from the Village of Manteno in the first week of December if you were one of the approved applications. If you filed an application and were not approved, you either already received a letter from the village about the denial, or will receive one in the next, within the next week. But most of the people have already been notified. The only other item I have is just a thank you note that I received from the Manteno Triathlon and Duathlon. Just a postcard thanking the village staff and the village elected leaders for the support of the race weekend. They could not have a race without all the cooperation. The Kankakee Triathlon Club, and that was a race that was held earlier this year that they've done now in Manteno for several years, and they're very appreciative of all the cooperation that we give them. I have nothing further. Village Administrator's report, Mr. LaRock.
Thank you, Mayor. Originally, we were going to have Sarah Marion from the Manteno Chamber come in and give us a little report on Oktoberfest, but she took ill today, so we'll probably have to have her back at the next meeting. I have nothing further.
Thank you, Mr. LaRock. Committee reports, Public Works and Utilities, Mr. Boyce.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have one item. Ordinance 2214, ordinance authorizing surplus of personal property, surplus municipal equipment. Does anyone Talk about what we're surplusing?
Yeah, we're just kind of a little bit of a housekeeping item, but 2 dump trucks were ordered about a year and a half ago. Just putting these 2 that are going to be replaced. It's a 2003 and a 2005 International dump truck.
And how will they be advertised?
We're either considering doing an auction or possibly trading them in.
Okay.
So one of the 2 options.
Okay. So if anyone has any interest in it after tonight's surplusing, they can contact you for any information?
Correct.
Okay.
My next Public Works meeting is 11/29 at 7 a.m. right here. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Boyce. Properties and Recreation, Mr. Martin.
Nothing tonight, nothing at all.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. Public Safety and Health, Mrs. Dole.
Thank you, Mayor. I have one item, consideration regarding a motion to award the contract for the Manteno Police Station relocation project to CCC Holdings from Tinley Park, Illinois, for a bid of $1,767,356. The village received 5 bids for the remodeling of the new police department facility. CCC Holdings was the lowest qualified bidder. With this award, construction should begin in the next couple of weeks and be completed in early spring of next year. I don't know, Al, if you or Chris wanted to add anything, or just looking forward to it.
getting started, and
Yeah, this is a project that we wanted to get awarded so they could work on it. It's an indoor project. We are going to be closing in the drive-up for a garage, but other than that, it's probably 90% of the work is going to be done indoors, so it's a great wintertime project, and we wanted to get it awarded so they could start working on it in the, over the course of the bad weather. Target date, I don't know, is there a target date for when the completion's going to be?
we have a meeting tomorrow to find out what the schedule will be. So
Okay, so I mean, we're hoping that, I'm assuming that this is going to be a, late spring, early summer, probably, potential date for, getting completed. And that's also going to be dependent on, all the different materials that they have to order and whether all that stuff is available and there's no lead times or wait times. So, hopefully the police department will be able to occupy this facility sometime in the mid-year of next year, so.
Okay. I have one safety tip. Recently, the police department investigated a series of thefts of GPS systems from farm equipment. One of the farmers heard about this going on and stuck a tracking device on his farm equipment, ironically prior to it being stolen. That little tracker led investigators to several suspects and their houses. These little tracking devices, such as an Apple AirTag, are relatively inexpensive and are great for protecting any expensive items that are easily stolen, such as bicycles, laptops, golf carts, and tools. They're about the size of a quarter and send their location to your phone every time they come near another phone. These are excellent investments to help the police prevent and solve crimes. So that was that was really quick. I mean, that was one of the faster.
Yeah, it was one of those deals where, probably without that, it would have never gotten located. And this was the guy that bought these and put them on his device is not from around this area. He was up more in the western suburbs of Chicago. I just happened to hear about the thefts that were taking place. Not only did we have them here, but I think they had them out by the Herscher area. And he heard about them, so he bought these devices and put them on his equipment. Lo and behold, his equipment got stolen, and took him to the location. When he called the police there, the Manteno police, when we had the incident here, we had seen they had some vehicles on our video cameras that they could give description of the potential offending vehicles, but they couldn't get the license or wasn't good enough for the license plate. Well, when the police up there went to these houses, sure enough, the vehicle that was in the yard matched the vehicle that Manteno police had identified, and so it was tied them to this area. So, yeah, these little devices are pretty handy, and they are, they'll help solve crimes that probably would have never been solved otherwise. So,
You can buy them anywhere. I mean, they're.
You say they're the size of a quarter?
Yeah, they are. They're
Where
really
do you
small.
get them?
You can get them at Target, Best Buy,
Yeah.
anywhere. Yeah.
Amazon, you can buy them. They say and they hook right up to your phone device.
A lot of people use them for their pets.
Yeah, pet.
Yeah, I was,
Keep a track of you, window.
I could put one in on Maryland, so I know where she's at.
Yeah. She might have one on you.
you just don't know about it, yeah? Yeah. And my next public safety meeting is this Wednesday at 7 a.m. here in the Village Boardroom. So,
Thank you, Mr. Dole.
Thank you.
Planning and zoning, Mr. Crockett is not here tonight, but he has a change of date for his planning and zoning committee meeting, which is now going to be scheduled here at 11/29 at 7 a.m. in the morning. We moved that, a couple people couldn't be there at the regular date, so it's being moved to 11/29. And his plan commission meeting that was scheduled for 11/8 tomorrow has been canceled. Finance, Mr. Geske is not here either, but Mr. Phillips, you're going to take his report?
Yeah. Nothing on old business, new business, or consideration, a motion to authorize the purchase of a 2023 Ford F-550 from Taylor Ford of Manteno for $103,043.19, and a resolution designating authorization for the Village of Manteno, Kankakee County, for the purpose of opening accounts and conducting business at Iroquois Federal. Payment of bills of $1,479,283.30. Bills authorized and paid between board cycle, $53,675.36. And the next finance meeting is 11/9/22, I'd say at 7 a.m. right here. That's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Phillips. And then general government, you have nothing for that?
Nothing tonight.
Okay. So the items that we'll be voting on in the consent agenda are as follows. Under old business, we have nothing. Under new business, we have ordinance 2214, which is an ordinance authorizing the sale of personal property, surplus municipal equipment. Item number 2 is resolutions 22-8, which is a resolution designated authorized agents for the Village of Manteno, Kankakee County, Illinois, for the purpose of opening accounts and conducting business at Iroquois Federal. Under the awarding of bids, number 1, motion to award a contract to the Manteno Police Department relocation to CCC Holdings of Tinley Park, Illinois, for a bid of $1,767,356. The second item on here, we're going to vote on individually, so I'm not going to read that to be included with the consent agenda. And finally, a motion to approve the payment of the bills in the amount of $1,479,283.30. So we'll be voting on under new business, item number 1 and 2, B1, B2, C1, and D1. Are there any items on the consent agenda that need to be voted on individually other than what I left off? Seeing none, I'd accept the motion to take a single roll call vote on the question of the passage of the agenda items as read. Motion by Martin.
I'll second.
Second by Dole. Roll call.
Martin?
Yes.
Dole?
Yes.
Boyce?
Yes.
Phillips?
Yes.
Motion carries. I accept the motion to approve by unanimous vote the ordinances, resolutions, motions, and orders contained in the consent agenda as read.
Make that motion.
Motion by Dole. Second.
Second.
By Boyce. Roll call.
Dole?
Yes.
Boyce?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Phillips?
Yes.
Motion carries. Then I'd like to have accept a motion to authorize the purchase of a 2023 Ford F-550 from Taylor Ford of Manteno for a cost of $103,043.19, which is a state bid price.
Make that motion.
Motion by Dole.
Second.
Second by Phillips. Roll call.
Dole?
Yes.
Phillips?
Yes.
Boyce?
Abstain.
Martin?
Yes.
And I vote
Mayor.
aye. Motion carries. All right. Comments tonight? Ms. Backa, you had something you wanted to announce?
I just wanted to read a notice that we'll have posted out on our website. And notice is hereby given that the office of village clerk, local election official in and for the village of Manteno at 98 East 3rd Street in Manteno, Illinois, will be open on the following schedule for the purpose of accepting candidate petitions or certificates of nomination for the consolidated election to be held on April 4th, 2023 for the offices of village trustee. So from December 12th to December 16th, the hours will be 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. On December 19th, it will be 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And just a reminder, Village Hall is closed from noon to 1 o'clock each day for lunch. So this will be out on our website, but just give a heads up on accepting candidate petitions. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Backa. Comments tonight, Mr. Boyce, anything?
Mike Burns has always been a good mentor to our new guys, you know, so it's a long time, you know. I remember when I first came to town, I was only here, you know, like it's 23 years ago. This is like, I was afraid of the guy. But he turned into a good friend, so it's all good, so. Yeah.
Well, and I think it's a testament to the fact that, you know, we've had, you know, I mean, he's not retiring, he's sticking around, he's getting the 25-year award, that we've had so many people in the department that have stuck around for as long as they have, you know. I mean, it's not, it used to be where Manteno at one time was a training department where people came here and they worked for 3 or 4 years before they moved on to go to somewhere else. Over the last decade or so, that's changed, and now it's a more of a career focus where they come here and they move through the ranks and take on different roles and different positions and different responsibilities, but they stick around.
Yeah, and they do a lot of teaching. I mean, they've been around the town, so it's awesome.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Thank you, Mr. Boyce. Mr. Martin?
I agree. Officer Burns has been solid police officer. Make his office really nice over there. So he stays.
They're getting a new building, so they don't stick around. Mrs. Dole?
Yeah, I want to say the same. Officer Burns, Sergeant, has been a good friend to Jerry and myself through the years. He was really, really concerned about Jerry. Often, just on patrol, he would stop by to see how Jerry was. Often, just checking the neighborhood, but checking to see how Jerry was too. So he means a lot to our family. So, and he's obviously things going on with the department. He's always on top of sending out the newsletters and doing a lot of that stuff too. So, appreciate everything he does. Thank you.
And Sergeant Burns arrested my dog for running away from home. And he called me. I went and got the little bugger. He's a great guy. That's all I have.
Well, and like I said, there was a number of officers here earlier to see the presentation, but they got calls and, and had to leave. So they, again, they're in a business that they never know when they're going to be busy or not. And Sergeant Burns has been doing that for a long time, and obviously he's good at it, and and good at instructing the younger generation for that. So congratulations to him. If no one has anything else, I'd accept the motion to adjourn.
I'll make that.
Motion by Boyce.
Second.
By Dole. Roll call.
Boyce?
Yes.
Dole?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Phillips?
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you very much for coming, for watching.